Welcome to another slow drift into dreamlike. Tonight's story glows softly from a river that remembers the stars, beneath the gaze of two quiet moons, where time melts and silence breathes. The water waits, warm and silver, ready to carry you to a place beyond weight, beyond thought. Its current hums the rhythm of surrender. Its light falls gently across your skin. Its voice speaks not in words, but in warmth and stillness and glow. Let yourself float. Let your breath join the river's song. And if this quiet current brings you peace, you might consider subscribing or telling us when and where the moons find you. Now, close your eyes and let the water carry you home. Brass beneath my feet is cool. Each blade touches my skin like a whisper. I walk slowly through the field, and the world around me glows with a light that has no source. Everything here is soft. Everything here is gentle. The air moves against my arms. It carries the scent of night-blooming flowers, jasmine, perhaps, or something sweeter, something that exists only in dreams. I do not hurry. Time here moves differently. It stretches like honey. It pools like water in my palm. Each step I take sends small tremors through the earth, and the earth responds with warmth. Two moons hang in the sky above me. They are not the moon I know from my waking world. These moons are larger, closer. One glows silver white, pure as fresh snow. The other shimmers with the faintest hint of blue, like moonlight filtered through water. Their light falls on my skin like silk. I walk toward the sound of water. I have been walking for hours, or perhaps minutes. In this place, there is no difference. The sound grows stronger with each step. Pause. It is not the rushing of a rapid river, but something gentler. Water moving over smooth stones. Water singing to itself in the darkness. My dress moves against my legs as I walk. It is made of something like cotton, maybe, or linen that has been worn soft by countless washing. The fabric brushes my thighs with each step, and the sensation is pleasant, comforting. The field I walk through seems endless. Rolling hills stretch in every direction, covered in grass that glows silver in the moonlight. Here and there, wildflowers. The landscape, white ones that seem to capture the light and hold it. Blue ones that match the second moon. I breathe deeply. The air is warm, not the heavy warmth of summer, but something softer. The warmth of a spring morning, the warmth of breath against skin. My bare feet find a path. It is narrow, worn, smooth by use. The stones that line it are warm to the touch. They have been heated by the sun during the day, though I have never seen the sun in this place. Hush! There is only the two moons and their gentle light. I follow the path as it winds through the grass. Leads me down a gentle slope toward the sound of water. The sound grows clearer now. I can hear individual notes in the water's song, the splash of small waves against a bank, the gurgle of current around rocks. The grass gives way to softer earth. My toes sink slightly with each step. The soil is dark and rich, cool between my toes. It smells of rain, though no rain has fallen. It smells of growth, of life, sleeping just beneath the surface. Ahead of me, I see the river. It runs wide and slow between banks lined with smooth stone. The water catches the light of the two moons and throws it back in ripples that dance across the surface. Silver light, blue light, swirling together like liquid metal. I stop at the water's edge. The river is more beautiful than I had imagined. The water is so clear. I can see the bottom, even in the moonlight. Smooth pebbles line the riverbed, and between them, silvery fish dart back and forth. They move like living light, their scales catching and reflecting the moons about. I kneel beside the water. The stones of the bank are warm. Against my knees, I lean forward and dip my fingers into the current. The water is neither warm nor cold. It is exactly the temperature of my skin, as if it has been waiting for me. Small ripples spread from where my hand touches the surface. They move outward in perfect circles, carrying flecks of moonlight with them. I watch them grow larger and larger until they disappear into the gentle current. The sound of the water is hypnotic. It whispers secrets I do not understand, in a language older than words. I close my eyes and listen. The sound wraps around me like a blanket, like arms holding me close. When I open my eyes, the river seems to glow brighter. The silver light of the first moon has grown stronger, or perhaps my eyes have adjusted to its beauty. The water looks like liquid starlight flowing slowly toward some distant sea. I stand slowly. My dress clings to me in places where the night air has made it damp. The fabric is soft against my skin, but suddenly it feels too heavy, too constraining. I reach for the hem of my dress. The fabric is lighter than air between my fingers. Poor. I lift it slowly, inch by inch, feeling the cool air touch my legs, my thighs, my stomach, the dress pooled around my ankles. I step out of it, carefully, leaving it folded on the warm stones of the riverbank. The night air touches my skin like a lover's hands, gentle and reverent. I am bare now beneath the two moons. Their light falls across my shoulders, down my arms, over the curves of my body. I feel beautiful in their glow, more beautiful than I have ever felt before. The water calls to me, not in words, but in a feeling that starts in my chest and spreads outward like warmth. I take a step toward the river's edge, then another. The first touch of water against my toes sends shivers up my legs. The sensation is electric but gentle, like the first touch of rain after a long drought, like the first kiss of spring after winter's end. I wade deeper. The water rises around my ankles, then my calf. Each step sends new ripples across the surface, carrying my reflection away in fragments of silver and blue. The riverbed is smooth beneath my feet. The stones have been worn round by countless years of current. They massage my soles with each step, warm and pleasant against my skin. The water reaches my knees, then my thighs. I can feel the current tugging gently at me, inviting me deeper. The fish I saw earlier swim around my legs, their scales brushing against my skin like silk. I pause when the water reaches my waist. The sensation is overwhelming, not uncomfortable, but intense. The water seems to know my body better than I know it myself. It finds every curve, every hollow, and embraces them all with equal tenderness. I breathe deeply. The air is sweet here, sweeter than it was on land. It tastes of flowers and moonlight and something else. Something that might be magic if I believed in such things. The two moons are reflected in the water around me. Their images waver with each small movement I make, breaking apart and reforming like liquid light. I am standing in the middle of the sky, surrounded by stars and moonlight and infinite space. I close my eyes and let myself feel. The water supports me without effort. I could let go completely, and it would hold me, cradle me, keep me safe. The current is gentle here, barely noticeable, except for the way it moves my hair, floating it around my shoulders like seaweed. I open my eyes and look up at the moons. They seem closer now, close enough to touch. The silver one pulses gently, like a heartbeat. Blue one shimmers, its light dancing across the water's surface in patterns that hurt my eyes in the most beautiful way. I am ready to let go of the solid world, ready to become part of the water, part of the light, part of the endless dance between earth and sky. I take another step deeper. The water rises to my chest, and suddenly I can feel my heartbeat echoing in the current. Or perhaps it is the river's heartbeat. I feel ancient and steady and strong. My breasts float in the warm water. The sensation is strange, liberating. I have never felt so aware of my body, so connected to it and yet so free from its weight. The water laps gently at my collarbones. Each tiny wave is a kiss, a blessing, a welcome. I tilt my head back and let the moonlight fall across my face. It is warm, warmer than sunlight, and it seems to sink into my skin like lotion. I am glowing, not literally, perhaps, but I feel as if I am. As if the moonlight has gotten inside me somehow and is shining out through my pores. I am a creature of light and water and air, no longer bound by the heavy rules of the waking world. Bees are not afraid of me. They circle my body. Like dancers, their movements synchronized with the gentle rhythm of the current. Sometimes one brushes against my leg or my arm, and the touch is like electricity made gentle. I lean back slightly. The water supports my weight effortlessly. I could float here forever, suspended between the riverbed and the sky, held in the perfect embrace of the silver current. But I want to go deeper. The thought comes unbidden, but it feels right, natural. The river has more to show me, more to teach me. I have only just begun to understand its secret. I wade further from the bank. The water rises to my shoulders, then my neck. I can feel my feet still touching the bottom, but just barely. The stones here are larger, smoother, worn to perfect roundness by the eternal current. My hair floats around me now. It moves in the water like kelp, dark strands that catch and hold the moonlight. I can see it in my peripheral vision, a liquid cloud that surrounds my head like a crown. The sensation of being almost completely submerged is intoxicating. I am neither fully in the water nor fully out of it. I exist in the liminal space between elements, belonging fully to neither and somehow to both. The moon's reflection surrounds me completely now. I am standing in a pool of liquid light, silver and blue swirling together in patterns that change too quickly for my eyes to follow. I am part of the pattern now, my body just another element in the eternal dance of light and water. Breathe slowly. Each breath creates tiny ripples that spread outward from my chest. They carry pieces of my reflection away, fragmenting me into 1,000 points of light that eventually rejoin into wholeness. The night air is warm on the parts of me that remain above water, my shoulders, my neck, the top of my chest. The contrast between air and water creates a boundary that seems to pulse with sensation. I am aware of exactly where one element ends and the other begins. I close my eyes again and just exist. Time has no meaning here. I might have been in the water for minutes or hours. The moons have not moved in the sky, or if they have, I cannot tell. Hang above me like eternal guardians, their light a constant blessing on my skin. The water around me seems to pulse, not visibly, but I can feel it, a rhythm that matches my heartbeat, or perhaps my heartbeat is synced to match the river's ancient pulse. We are breathing together, the water and I, inhaling and exhaling in perfect harmony. I think of nothing. My mind, usually so busy with thoughts and worries and plans, has gone quiet. There is only the sensation of water against skin, of moonlight, warm in my face, of being held in the gentle embrace of something larger than myself. The fish continue their dance around me. They move in spirals, weaving between my arms and legs, with a precision that suggests intelligence. Or perhaps they are simply following currents I cannot feel, obeying laws of water and light that exist beyond my understanding. I open my eyes and look toward the far bank. The river seems wider than it did before, though I have not moved deeper into its center. Perhaps it is the way the moonlight plays tricks with distance, making everything seem both closer and farther away than it actually is. The far bank is lined with trees I did not notice before. They are tall and graceful, their leaves silver in the moonlight. They sway gently in a breeze. I cannot feel their movement, hypnotic and soothing. Their reflection in the water makes it seem as if there are two forests, one above and one below, with me suspended between them. I turn slowly in the water. The movement sends new ripples across the surface, disrupting the perfect reflections of the moons. For a moment, everything is chaos fragments of light spinning and dancing without pattern or purpose. Then the water settles and order returns. From this angle, I can see the path I walked to reach the river. It winds up through the glowing grass like a silver thread, disappearing over a hill that seems impossibly far away. My dress lies folded on the bank where I left it, a small dark shape against the luminous stones. I will not need it tonight. The thought comes with certainty, though I do not know why. Tonight belongs to the water, to the moons, to the slow dance of light and current that'll carry me wherever I need to go. I turn again, facing downstream. Now, the river stretches away into darkness, its surface catching fragments of moonlight like scattered diamonds. Somewhere in the distance, it will meet the sea. Or perhaps it will simply flow, forever carrying its cargo of light and dreams to places that exist beyond the edge of the world. The water tugs gently at my body, not pulling me downstream, but inviting me to join its eternal journey. I could let go now. Let the current lift my feet from the riverbed and carry me away. The thought is not frightening. It is peaceful, like the promise of sleep after a long day. I am not ready to let go completely. Not yet. There is more to experience here, more to learn from the water's gentle teachings. I plant my feet more firmly on the smooth stones and lean into the current, letting it support most of my weight while keeping me anchored to this place. The sensation is perfect. I am held between movement and stillness, between the solid world and the flowing one. The water cradles me like a lover, patient and tender and eternally giving. I tilt my head back until my hair floats completely free. The ends of it drift in the current like dark seaweed, and I can feel each strand moving independently in the gentle flow. The sensation is both tickling and soothing, like fingers combing through my hair. The moons are directly above me now. Or perhaps I have positioned myself so that they appear to be. They fill my vision to perfect circles of light against the star-scattered darkness. The silver one seems to pulse with my heartbeat, while the blue one shimmers like water itself, fluid and ever-changing. Their light falls on my face like warm rain. I can feel it sinking into my skin, feeding something deep inside me that I did not know was hungry. I am drinking moonlight, breathing it, becoming it. My body feels weightless in the water, not just supported, but actually lighter than air. I could be floating in space, surrounded by stars instead of water, and the sensation would be the same. I am no longer bound by gravity, by mass, by the heavy reality of flesh and bone. I am light itself, made of the same stuff as the moons, as the silver river, as the glowing grass that stretches away in all directions. I am part of the eternal dance of illumination that turns the night into something magical. The thought makes me smile, not a large smile, just a small curve of my lips. But even that tiny movement sends ripples through the water. Everything is connected here. Every breath, every heartbeat, every fleeting expression becomes part of the river's song. I close my eyes and listen to that song. It has no words, no melody in any conventional sense. But it is the sound of water moving over stone, of moonlight reflecting off ripples, of fish swimming through liquid light. It is the sound of peace itself. If peace could make a sound, my breathing has become very slow. Each inhalation takes forever, drawing an air that tastes of flowers and starlight. Each exhalation lasts just as long, releasing tension I did not know I was holding. I am breathing with the rhythm of the water, the rhythm of the moons, the eternal rhythm of night itself. The current continues its gentle pull. It does not demand that I surrender to it, but it makes the invitation constantly. I could let go at any moment and be carried away to whatever lies downstream. The choice is always mine, and that freedom is part of what makes the water's embrace so perfect. I open my eyes and look at my body in the water. It appears to glow with reflected moonlight, pale and luminous beneath the surface. My skin looks like pearl, like mother of pearl, like something precious and rare that belongs in the depths of the ocean. The fish continue to swim around me. I are bolder now, sometimes brushing against my arms or legs with deliberate gentleness. Their scales catch the light and throw it back in tiny plashes, like living jewels that have learned to swim. I reach out slowly and let one swim between my fingers. Its scales are smooth as silk, cooler than the water, but somehow warm at the same time. It shows no fear of me. This creature of silver light, we are both part of the same dream, the same gentle world where touch is blessing and movement is prayer. The water around my hand sparkles where the fish has passed. Tiny motes of light follow in its wake, like glitter suspended in liquid. We fade slowly, each one winking out in its own time, until the water returns to its steady silver glow. I let my hand sink back beneath the surface. The water closes over it with a gentleness of silk sheets, warm and welcoming and perfectly fitted to my skin. I am being dressed in liquid light, adorned with ripples and reflections, and the soft caress of current. Time continues its strange dance here. Moments stretch like hours, while what feels like hours pass in the space of a heartbeat. I have been in the water forever, and I have just arrived. Both things are true. In this place where logic bends like light through water, I think I could stay here always. The thought comes without sadness or urgency. It is simply a recognition of possibility. like noticing that the sky is dark or that water is wet. I could remain in this river, in this embrace of moonlight and current, and be perfectly content for eternity. But even as I think it, I know there is more. Deeper water ahead, deeper mysteries to explore. The river has shown me its surface beauty, its gentle welcome, but there are secrets in its depths that I have not yet discovered. I take a breath and prepare to go deeper. Not yet, not in this moment, but soon. The water will carry me when I am ready. Support me as I explore the hidden places where moonlight cannot reach directly, but finds other ways to shine. For now, I float in this perfect space, neither fully submerged nor fully above the surface, held in the boundary between elements, between states of being. Boom. The moons watch over me with their ancient patience, their light a constant benediction on my glowing skin. The water whispers its secrets around me. Some I understand, some I do not, but all of them are gifts. The river is teaching me a new language, one spoken in ripples and reflections, in the gentle pressure of current against skin, in the soft music of water flowing over stone. I am learning to speak this language. My body has become fluent in it without my conscious effort. Every movement I make creates words in the water, sentences written in silver light that spread outward in perfect circles before being absorbed back into the eternal conversation between river and sky. The night air grows softer around me, or perhaps I have grown softer, more permeable, more able to absorb gentleness that surrounds me on all sides. The boundary between my skin and the water, between my breath and the air, becomes less defined with each passing moment. I am dissolving, not disappearing, but becoming more fluid, like the water itself. I am learning to flow around obstacles, to find the easiest path, to move with grace and purpose, without forcing anything. The moons pulse gently above me. Their light has become a tangible thing, with weight and texture and warmth. It pools on my skin like honey, sweet and golden. Disky, pure, who possess though color. I am being painted with moonlight, decorated with liquid illumination that seeps into my pores and lights me from within. My heartbeat echoes in the water. Each pulse sends tiny vibrations through the river, creating patterns that spread outward like visual music. I can see my heartbeat in the ripples around my body, a rhythm made visible in silver light. The fish swim closer to these ripples. They seem drawn to the patterns my heart creates, dancing in and out of the expanding circles, with a choreography that suggests deep understanding. They know something about the connection between heartbeat and water, between life and light, that I am only beginning to grasp. I breathe deeper, and the ripples change. Now they move outward from my chest with each breath, carrying pieces. Prove my life force into the river's greater circulation. I am sharing my essence with the water, and the water is sharing its ancient wisdom with me. The exchange is perfect. Neither of us takes more than we give. Neither of us holds back what the other needs. This is how love should feel. I think this effortless flow of giving and receiving. This perfect balance between two beings who have become part of something larger than themselves. The water around me grows warmer, or perhaps I have grown cooler, finding my perfect temperature in the space where water and skin meet. The sensation is like slipping into a bath that has been drawn specifically for me, heated to exactly the right degree, perfumed with exactly the right oils. But there are no oils here, only moonlight and water, and the natural chemistry of earth and sky, combining in ways that create magic without effort. The river's warmth comes from deep places, from springs heated by the planet's heart, from currents that have traveled underground through chambers lit by their own inner fire. I can feel that deep warmth rising through the water. It starts at my feet and moves slowly upward, a gentle tide of heat that brings with it the memory of the earth's beginning. This water has seen the birth of mountains, the first falling of rain, the moment when life itself learned to swim. All of that history flows around me now. I am held in the embrace of deep time, cradled by water that carries the stories of everything that has ever lived. The fish that swim around me, the descendants of the first fish, and I am connected to every human who has ever felt the blessing of water against their skin. The thought should be overwhelming. Instead, it is comforting. I am not alone in this river, in this moment. I am part of an infinite chain of beings who have found peace in water, who have learnt to trust its gentle embrace, who have discovered that surrender can be a form of strength. The moon shined down on all of us, on me, floating in this silver river, in this perfect moment, and on everyone who has ever floated in water beneath moonlight. Their light connects all moments, all places, all beings who have found grace in the marriage of earth and sky. I close my eyes and feel a connection. Streams of light and water flow between my heart and the hearts of countless others, living and dead, real and imagined. We are all here together in this eternal moment, all floating in the same river, all blessed by the same gentle moon. The water holds us all. It has infinite capacity for love, infinite patience for our fears and hesitation, infinite gentleness for our fragile human heart. It asks nothing of us but our willingness to trust, to let go, to become part of its eternal flow. I am ready to give that trust, not all at once, but gradually, like wading deeper into the river itself. Each breath takes me a little further from the safety of the shore, a little deeper into the mystery of surrender. Current grows stronger around my body, not pulling me away, but offering to carry me wherever I need to go. I can feel its power now, the immense force that moves mountains grain by grain, that carves canyons over centuries, that brings rain to the desert and snow to the peaks. But it uses none of that power against me. Instead, it offers itself as a gift, a vehicle for exploration, a way of moving through the world that requires no effort on my part. I have only to release my grip on the riverbed, and I will become part of something larger and more graceful than I could ever be alone. The fish seem to understand my readiness. They swim in tighter circles now, their movements more urgent, but still gentle. They are preparing for something, responding to changes in the water that my human senses cannot detect. They know that transformation is coming. I open my eyes and look up at the moons one last time. They hang in the sky like patient teachers, their light a constant reminder that some things endure beyond the brief span of human worry. They have watched over this river since before the first fish learned to swim, and they will continue their vigil long after the last star fades from the sky. Their blessing falls on me like warm rain. I can feel it soaking into my skin, my hair, my heart. I am being prepared for the next phase of this gentle journey, anointed with moonlight for whatever transformation awaits in the deeper water. The stones beneath my feet feel different now, smoother, more rounded, as if the river has been polishing them while I floated in its embrace. They provide less purchase for my toes, less connection to the solid world. The water is making it easier for me to let go, removing the last obstacles to complete surrender. I flex my toes against the smooth stones one last time. This is my final connection to the earth. The last anchor that keeps me rooted in the world of weight and gravity and fixed positions. In a moment, I will release even this, and then there will be nothing between me and the river's infinite embrace. The moment arrives without fanfare. One instant I am standing on the riverbed, the next I am floating free, my feet no longer touching stone, my body no longer fighting the gentle pull of the current. I have crossed the threshold between the solid world and the flowing one. The sensation is indescribable. I am weightless, supported by nothing but the water's love and the moon's benediction. I am flying while submerged, swimming through liquid light, dancing with currents that know the secret choreography of the universe. The water carries me with perfect gentleness. I am not being swept away, but invited along, included in the river's eternal journey toward whatever sea awaits at the world's edge. My body moves with the current's rhythm, flowing like kelp, bending like grass in a gentle breeze. The moons follow me as I drift, or perhaps I follow them, matching my slow progress to their stately movement across the star-filled sky. We are partners in this dance, celestial lights and I, moving together through our separate elements toward the same unknowable destination. The water around me glows brighter. Each ripple I create catches and amplifies the moonlight so that I drift through an ocean of liquid starlight. I am a constellation floating in the river, a pattern of light and flesh that tells its own story against the dark canvas of flowing water. Time loses all meaning now. I drift for minutes or hours, surrounded by silver light and gentle current. The riverbank passes by like a slow dream. Trees and stones and patches of glowing grass, sliding past in a continuous scroll of beauty. I am in no hurry to reach wherever the river is taking me. The journey itself is the destination, this perfect state of surrender and trust and flowing movement. I could drift forever in this embrace of water moonlight, content to be carried wherever the ancient currents decide to go. The fish swim alongside me now. They have become my escorts, my guides into the deeper mysteries that await. Sometimes one brushes against my arm or leg, a gentle touch that reminds me I am not alone in this liquid world. They accept me as part of their environment. Now, a strange new creature that has learned to speak their language of fluid movement and reflected light. My hair streams behind me in the water, has become like kelp, flowing and swaying with each subtle change in the current. I can feel it moving independently of my body, responsive to flows and eddies that I cannot detect any other way. It has become a sensory organ, teaching me to read the water's moods and intentions. The riverbank grows more distant. I am moving toward the center of the river now, carried by currents that run deeper and stronger than those near the shore. The water here has traveled further, carries more stories, knows more secrets about the hidden places where rivers are born. I breathe slowly and let myself sink deeper into the water's embrace. Not literally deeper, my face remains above the surface, kissed by the warm night air, but deeper into the experience of surrender, deeper into the trust that allows the river to become my vehicle and my home. The moons hang directly overhead now. Their combined light creates a column of illumination that surrounds me as I drift, as if I am floating through a shaft of liquid moonlight that extends from the river's surface to the star-scattered sky. I am the bridge between water and air, between earth and heaven, held in the perfect balance of forces that keeps the world in harmony. The water whispers new secrets as it carries me along. These are older secrets than the ones it shared near the shore. Deeper truths about the nature of flow and change, and the beauty that comes from surrendering to forces larger than oneself. I listen with my whole body, absorbing the lessons through my skin, my bones, my blood. I am learning to be water, not literally, but in spirit, in approach, in the way I move through the world. Water finds the easiest path, but never stops moving. Water nourishes everything it touches. Water is soft but persistent, gentle but unstoppable, yielding but ultimately victorious over every obstacle. These lessons sink into my bones as the river carries me forward. I am being transformed by the water's patient teaching, becoming more fluid in my thoughts, more graceful in my movements, more trusting in my willingness to let the universe carry me where I need to go. The night air grows sweeter as I drift deeper into the river's embrace. It carries new fragrances now, blooming serious water lilies, green smell of river plants that grow only in the deepest currents. I am breathing the essence of the river's secret gardens, the hidden places where beauty blooms unseen by daylight eyes. My body has found its perfect position in the water. I float on my back with my arms spread wide, my legs relaxed and slightly apart, my hair streaming behind me like a dark cloud. This is the position: absolute trust, absolute surrender, absolute openness to whatever the river wants to show me. The moons reflect in my eyes. When I look up at them, their light fills my vision completely, and I cannot tell where the reflected moonlight ends and my own inner light begins. I am becoming luminous, filled with the same gentle radiance that turns the river into liquid silver. The water supports every inch of my body. No part of me is without the river's loving attention. My shoulders, my back, my hips, my legs, all of me is held and cradled and blessed by the water's endless capacity for care. I am being loved by the river itself, embraced by something vast and ancient and infinitely patient. The fish continue to swim around me. They create living constellations in the water, patterns of silver light that shift and change with their movement. Sometimes they swim beneath me, their scales catching the reflected moonlight and throwing it back in brief flashes of brilliance. They are writing messages in light across my skin, communications in a language I am only beginning to understand. I close my eyes and feel the river's pulse. It matches my heartbeat now, or perhaps my heartbeat has learned to match its ancient rhythm. We are breathing together. The river and I, inhaling starlight and exhaling peace, drawing in the night's sweetness and releasing all tension, all fear, all resistance to the flow of life. The current carries me into even deeper water. Here the river runs slower but stronger, like a vast muscle flexing gently beneath the surface. I can feel its power without fear, because I have learned to trust its intentions. It will not harm what it has chosen to carry. It will not abandon what it has accepted into its embrace. My body glows brighter in this deeper water. The moonlight seems to concentrate around me, as if the river has learned to focus illumination on whatever it carries. I am lit from within and without, a creature of light floating through an ocean of liquid starlight. The banks of the river have disappeared into soft darkness. I am floating in a world made entirely of water and light and gentle current, with no solid boundaries to remind me of the heavier world I have left behind. This is the river's heart, its secret center where only the most trusting are allowed to drift. Time has no meaning here in the river's heart. I might have been floating for minutes or centuries. The moons do not move in their stately dance across the sky, or if they do, their movement is too slow for me to detect. I exist in an eternal moment of perfect peace, perfect surrender, perfect trust in the water's loving embrace. The water grows warmer around me, not with surface heat, but with the deep warmth that comes from the earth's core, carried upward through hidden channels and underground rivers to bless the water with its ancient fire. I am being warmed by the planet's heart, embraced by heat that has traveled through stone and soil for countless years to reach me in this moment. My breathing becomes even slower and deeper. Each breath draws in air that tastes of moonlight and water lilies. Each exhalation releases more of my connection to the solid world, making me more fluid, more able to flow with whatever currents arise. The fish around me glow brighter. Their scales become tiny mirrors, each one reflecting not just the moon's light, but also the gentle radiance that surrounds my floating body. We are all part of the same constellation now. A pattern of lights floating through the river's dark. I feel my body beginning to dissolve at the edge, not literally, but in some deeper sense. The boundaries between my skin and the water become less distinct, less important. I am becoming part of the river's flow, part of its eternal circulation of beauty and peace and liquid light. The sensation is not frightening. It is the most natural thing in the world, like a drop of water returning to the ocean, like a spark of light rejoining the fire from which it came. I am not losing myself, but finding my true nature, discovering what I really am, beneath all the accumulated weight of worry and fear and resistance. The moons pulse gently above me. Their light has become a heartbeat, a rhythm that coordinates the entire universe. Everything flows to that beat, the river's current, mine blood, the fish's movements, the very rotation of the world beneath the star-filled sky. I let myself sink completely with that rhythm. My heart, my breath, my thoughts, all align with the cosmic pulse that emanates from the twin moons. I am no longer separate from the universe, but part of its fundamental rhythm, one note in the great song that holds everything together. The water around me begins to sing. It is not a song with words or melody in any earthly sense, but a harmony made of ripples and reflections, of moonlight dancing on the surface and fish moving through liquid light. I am floating in the middle of a symphony composed by the universe itself. Each ripple carries a note. Each reflection adds its voice to the choir. The water sings of ancient rains and future seas, of snow melting on distant mountains and springs, bubbling up from the earth's secret chambers. Sings of every drop that has ever fallen, every current that has ever flowed, every creature that has ever found peace in its embrace. I add my own voice to the song, not with words, but with my presence, my willingness to be carried, my trust in the river's infinite wisdom. My floating body becomes another instrument in the water's orchestra, creating ripples that harmonize with eternal music of flow and current and gentle motion. The moons approve of this music. Their light grows warmer, more golden, as if they are pleased by the harmony between water and flesh, between trust and surrender, between the ancient song of the river and the new verse I add, simply by being present in its flow. My hair streams behind me like liquid music. Each strand moves independently in the current, creating its own small melody that blends with the larger symphony. I can feel the song through my scalp, through my skin, through the very core of my being. I am not just hearing the water's music, I am becoming part of it. The deeper currents carry different songs. As the river holds me, supports me, carries me ever forward, I become aware of layers of music beneath the surface melody, deep bass notes that speak of underground rivers, middle harmonies that tell of rain falling on leaves, high, sweet notes that sing of morning mist rising from the water's surface. I am floating through a liquid cathedral. The water around me has become sacred space, blessed by moonlight and sanctified by trust. This is where baptisms happen without ritual, where souls are cleansed simply by surrendering to the river's gentle embrace. The fish swim in formation now. They have organized themselves into patterns that follow the water's musical structure. Their movements, creating visual rhythms that match the liquid symphony surrounding us all. They are the river's dancers, its chorus, its living embodiment of the harmony between water and life. I close my eyes and sink deeper into the music. Not physically, deeper my face remains kissed by the warm night air, but deeper into understanding, deeper into the water's teachings about flow and patience and the beauty of letting go. The current carries me into a wider part of the river. Here the water spreads out like a liquid meadow, moving more slowly but with greater depth. The moon's reflection becomes larger, more diffuse, creating a pool of liquid light that seems to extend in all directions. I am floating in the heart of the night sky. The boundary between river and heavens has dissolved completely. I drift through liquid stars, surrounded by moonlight that has learned to flow like water, starlight that has learned to carry weight and provide support. My body has become weightless, not just supported by the water, but actually lighter than the medium that holds me. I am made of the same stuff as moonlight now, as insubstantial as dreams, as flowing as the river itself. Brew. The sensation is pure joy, not the sharp joy of surprise or achievement, but the deep, quiet joy of being exactly where I belong. Of having found my perfect place in the universe's grand design. I am home in this river, in this moment, in this perfect surrender to forces larger and wiser than my small human understanding. The water whispers its deepest secrets now. These are not secrets meant for the shore, not lessons that can be learned while standing on solid ground. These are the mysteries that reveal themselves only to those who trust completely, who surrender utterly, who become part of the river's eternal flow. I listen with every cell of my being. Be the secrets enter through my skin, through my breath, through the very pores that separate me from the water. I am learning the hidden names of currents, the secret language of depths, the ancient wisdom that flows from source to sea, without ever forgetting its purpose. Time circles back on itself here. Past and future meet in the eternal present of the river's flow. I am floating in the same water that carried the first life forms, and simultaneously in the water that will carry the last. All moments exist simultaneously in the river's embrace. The moons have moved closer. Perhaps, or perhaps I have floated higher, lifted by currents that flow upward as easily as they flow forward. The celestial lights seem almost within reach, now close enough that I could touch their surface if I extended my arms toward the star-filled sky. Their light has weight here. It presses gently against my floating body, another form of embrace, another way the universe shows its love for those who trust its guidance. I am held between water and light, supported by both, blessed by their perfect cooperation. The fish begin to glow from within. Their scales have become translucent, revealing the light that lives inside their small body. They are not just reflecting the moon's radiance, but generating their own tiny stars swimming through the liquid darkness around me. We are all luminous now, the river, the fish, my own floating form. Everything glows with gentle light that seems to come from the joy of perfect harmony, the radiance that appears when separate things remember they are part of the same whole. My breathing has synchronized with the water's rhythm. Each inhalation draws in liquid light. Each exhalation releases more of my connection to the heavy world of solid things and fixed positions. I am becoming more like the river itself, fluid, patient, willing to flow around obstacles rather than fighting them. The banks have vanished completely. I float in an ocean of river, a liquid universe, where up and down have lost their meaning, where the only direction that matters is flow, and the only destination that matters is the present moments. Perfect peace. The water cradles me like a lover. Every inch of my body receives equal attention, equal care, equal blessing from the river's infinite capacity for gentleness. I am being loved by something vast and ancient and eternally patient, something that knows how to hold without possessing, how to carry without controlling. The current grows stronger beneath me, not pulling me away from safety, but carrying me toward transformation, toward whatever lies beyond the boundaries of my current understanding. The river knows where I need to go better than I do, and I trust its guidance completely. My hair has become part of the current. It flows behind me like liquid night, creating patterns in the water that mirror the constellations above. I am writing messages in the river with my body, communications in the ancient language of flow and surrender. The moons pulse in unison. Now, their combined light creates waves of illumination that wash over me in gentle cycle. Each pulse carrying me deeper into the trance-like state, where the boundary between self and river disappears completely. I am dissolving into light, not vanishing, but expanding, becoming less dense, more permeable. Delight that has been pooling on my skin now passes through me, making me translucent as the glowing fish, transparent as the water itself. The sensation is indescribable. I am still myself, still aware and conscious and present. But I am also Zarivia, the moonlight, the gentle current that carries dreams from the mountains to the sea. I exist as both drop and ocean, both individual and whole. The fish swim through my translucent form. Their passage creates ripples of sensation, gentle stirrings in the light that I have become. We share the same space, now, the same substance, occupying the same luminous medium without conflict or collision. The river's song grows clearer, now that I am made of the same stuff as the water. I can hear its music with perfect clarity. It sings of cycles rain, to river, to sea, to sky, to rain again, and of the joy that comes from participating fully in the eternal dance of flow and return. I add my voice to the river's song, not with sound, but with presence, with gratitude, with the harmony that arises when separate notes discover they are part of the same melody. My consciousness becomes another instrument in the water's orchestra. The moons lean closer. They have become curious about this new creature floating in their river, this being made of water and light and willing trust. Their radiance intensifies, bathing me in even more warmth, more blessing, more of the golden light that transforms everything it touches. Time stops completely, not metaphorically, but literally. The river's flow continues. The fish continue their eternal dance, but the progression of moments ceases. I exist in an eternal now, suspended between heartbeats, floating in the space between seconds, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. In this timeless moment, I understand everything. By the purpose of rivers, the meaning of moonlight, the reason why water and light cooperate so perfectly to create beauty. I understand why surrender is a form of strength, why trust is a form of wisdom, why floating can be more powerful than swimming. The understanding flows through me like liquid light. It does not burden me with its weight, but makes me even more translucent, even more able to let the river's wisdom pass through me without obstruction. I am a clear channel now, a transparent vessel, through which the universe can pour its secret. The fish cluster around my luminous form. They are drawn to the light I have become. Or perhaps they recognize a kindred spirit, another being that has learned to trust the water's embrace completely. They swim in spirals around me, creating patterns that speak of celebration, of welcome, of recognition. The water grows even warmer. It is heated now by more than underground springs or the earth's core. It is warmed by joy, by the happiness that arises when trust is rewarded, when surrender leads to transformation, when letting go results in becoming more rather than less. My consciousness expands beyond my physical form. I am still centered in my floating body, but my awareness extends outward to encompass the entire river. The watching moons, the glowing fish, the warm night air. I am individual and universal simultaneously, both wave and ocean. The river carries me toward its deepest secret. These are not secrets that can be spoken or written down, but truths that can only be experienced by those who become part of the water's flow. I am moving toward the source of all rivers, the place where water first learned to sing, where the first current began its journey toward the sea. But I am in no hurry to arrive. The journey itself is the gift. This perfect state of floating surrender where every moment brings new understanding, new peace, new reasons to trust the universe's fundamental goodness. The moons begin their slow dance across the sky. Pair or perhaps time has begun to move again, carrying me forward into the next phase of this gentle adventure. Either way, I am ready for whatever comes next, secure in the knowledge that the river will carry me safely wherever I need to go. The water whispers its blessing one more time. It speaks of patience and flow, of the beauty that comes from letting go, of this strength that lives in yielding to forces larger than ourselves. It promises that whatever lies ahead will be as gentle as this perfect floating moment. Breathe deeply and prepare for the next movement in the river's symphony. My body glows with reflected moonlight and inner peace. My heart beats in rhythm with the cosmic pulse that coordinates all motion, all flow, all change. I am ready to trust the current's wisdom, ready to let it carry me deeper into the mysteries that wait in the river's heart. The fish swim ahead of me now, their glowing forms creating a path of living light through the water. They know where the river wants to take me. And they offer to serve as guides into whatever transformation awaits in the deeper currents. I follow their light with complete trust. The moons approve with their gentle radiance. The water supports me with its endless patience. The night air blesses me with its warm caress. Everything conspires to carry me safely into the next chapter of this journey. Through liquid light and flowing peace, the river holds me close as we move together toward whatever dawn awaits beyond the horizon of dreams. I am safe. I am loved. I am carried by forces that know the secret of perfect gentleness. The water glows around me like liquid starlight, and I glow within it like a creature born from the marriage of moonlight. And we flow together toward the river's deepest embrace, toward the place where all currents converge, toward the heart of the mystery that turns water into light and trust into transformation. I am ready for whatever comes next. The river has prepared me well. The water accepts my full surrender. As I let the last connection to the riverbed slip away, something changes in the liquid embrace around me. The river recognizes that I have crossed a threshold, that I have moved from visitor to participant in its eternal flow. My body finds its natural position in the deeper current. I float on my back with arms spread wide, hair streaming behind me like dark kelp. The water supports every inch of me with perfect attention, as if it has been waiting countless years for exactly this moment, this trust, this willing surrender to its ancient wisdom. The moons shine directly into my face. Their light no longer feels distant, but intimate, warm as lover's breath against my skin. The silver moon pulses gently with my heartbeat. Blue moon shimmers in harmony with my slow, deep breathing. We have become synchronized, the celestial bodies and I moving together through our separate elements. I close my eyes and sink deeper into sensation. Not physically to purr, my face remains above the surface, blessed by the warm night air, but deeper into the experience of complete trust. Every muscle in my body releases its tension. Every thought in my mind dissolves into the gentle rhythm of flow and current. The water whispers against my skin. Preach. Tiny movement creates microcurrents that caress me with deliberate tenderness. The river is learning my body, mapping its contours with liquid fingers, discovering the places where tension lives and dissolving it with patient pressure. My breathing becomes oceanic. Long, slow inhales that draw in air, perfumed with night-blooming flowers and river mist. Longer exhales that release, not just breath, but everything I no longer need worry. Resistance, the heavy habit of controlling outcomes instead of trusting process. The fish swim closer now. They have grown bolder in the deeper water. Or perhaps they sense that I have become more like them, a creature that trusts the current, that moves with flow rather than against it. Sometimes one brushes against my arm or leg, its scales smooth as silk, cool as moonlight. Each touch is a blessing. These silver beings carry the river's wisdom in their body. Prose. They have never known the burden of walking on solid ground, have never experienced the weight that comes from fighting gravity instead of dancing with it down. Their touch teaches my skin to remember its own fluidity. Current carries me into even deeper water. Pure. The river runs slower, but with greater power, like a massive heart beating in the earth's chest. I can feel its strength beneath me, supporting me not through effort, but through the sheer abundance of its love for everything it carries. My hair fans out in perfect symmetry, dark strands that catch fragments of moonlight and hold them like liquid jewels. Each strand moves independently in the gentle current, creating patterns that shift and flow like kelp in an underwater garden. I am being decorated by the water itself, adorned with liquid light and flowing shadows. The sensation of weightlessness deepens. I am no longer floating in the water, but becoming part of it. My body temperature matching the river's warmth so perfectly that the boundary between flesh and liquid begins to blur. I am dissolving at the edges, becoming more permeable, more able to let the river's essence flow through me. The moons reflect in my eyes. When I open them to gaze upward, their light fills my vision completely. I cannot tell where the reflected radiance ends, and my own inner luminosity begins. The boundary between observer and observer has dissolved into pure experiencing, pure being, pure presence in the flow. Time moves like honey here. Moments stretch into hours, or perhaps hours compress into heartbeats. The river's rhythm operates outside normal temporality, creating a space where past and future converge into an eternal now of floating peace and liquid grace. The water grows more responsive to my presence. Every small movement I make sends ripples that seem to carry intention, meaning communication in the river's ancient language. I am learning to speak in currents and eddies, in the subtle pressure of water displaced by floating limbs, in the gentle turbulence that follows movement through liquid space. My body begins to glow more brightly, not with reflected light alone, but with something generated from within. The moonlight that has been soaking into my skin begins to shine back out, making me luminous as the fish that swim around me, radiant as the water that holds me in its perfect embrace. The river sings its deeper songs now. These are melodies it shares only with those who have committed fully to be the current, who have released their grip on the solid world and trusted themselves completely to the flow. The songs speak of underground chambers where water gathers starlight, boo-boo, of hidden springs that bubble up from the earth's dreaming heart. I listen with my whole being. The music enters through my skin, my bones, the spaces between thoughts. It teaches me the river's history, how it learned to flow, how it discovered the secret of carrying weight without effort, how it found the perfect balance between yielding and persistence. The fish begin to swim in formations. They move in spirals and figure eights around my floating form, their glowing scales creating patterns of living light in the water, writing messages in bioluminescence, telling stories that predate human language, sharing wisdom that can only be communicated through movement and radiance. My breathing synchronizes with the water's rhythm. Each inhale draws in air thick with the essence of night-blooming lilies and river reed. Each exhale releases more of my attachment to the solid world, making me more fluid, more adaptably to flow with whatever currents arise. The moon's pulse in harmony above me. The combined light creates waves of illumination that wash over my floating body in gentle cycles. Each pulse carries me deeper into the trance-like state, where individual consciousness begins to merge with the river's vast awareness. I feel my edges becoming softer. The sharp boundaries that usually define where I end and the world begins are dissolving into something more gradual, more permeable. I am becoming like morning mist still, substantial but no longer confined to rigid shapes, able to flow and change while maintaining essential identity. The water cradles me with infinite patience. It has all the time in the world to teach me its lessons, to share its secrets, to transform my understanding of what it means to trust completely. There is no urgency here, no pressure to achieve or accomplish anything beyond this perfect floating presence. My consciousness expands slowly outward. I remain centered in my physical body, but my awareness begins to encompass more the fish swimming around me, the moon's watching from above, the gentle current that carries us all toward destinations unknown, but somehow perfect. The river's voice becomes clearer. It speaks of cyclone snow melting on mountain tops, streams joining streams to become rivers, rivers joining rivers to reach the sea, ocean water rising as mist to fall again as rain, It explains how surrender is not loss, but transformation. How letting go is not weakness, but the ultimate strength. I understand with my body rather than my mind. These truths sink into my bones, my blood, the very cells that make up this floating vessel of consciousness. Understanding becomes physical, embodied, as natural as breathing or the beating of my heart. The fish swim closer still. Some are bold enough now to swim beneath me, their scales brushing against my back, my shoulders, my hair, beard. Their touch is electric, but gentle, like being kissed by living starlight. They recognize me as kin now, another creature that has learned to trust the water's wisdom completely. The current grows warm around me. It carries heat from deep spring, from chambers where the earth's fire warms water that has never seen sunlight until it emerges here, in this sacred river, to bless those who trust enough to surrender to its flow. My heartbeat echoes in the water. Each pulse sends ripples through the liquid medium around me, creating visible patterns that spread outward in perfect circles. I can see my life force in these ripples. Watch my essence blend with the river's eternal circulation. The moons lean closer in the sky. Or perhaps I have floated higher, lifted by currents that flow upward as easily as they flow forward. Their light intensifies, becoming more golden, more warm, more alive with a kind of radiance that transforms everything it touches. Time becomes truly fluid here. Past and future lose their grip on present experience. I float in an eternal moment that contains all moments, a space between seconds where all possibilities exist simultaneously and the river's wisdom flows, unobstructed by the mind's neat categorized in sequence. My body temperature matches the water perfectly. Now, there is no sensation of wet or dry, warm or cool only, the seamless integration of flesh and liquid, the perfect harmony between my substance and the river. We have become one temperature, one rhythm, one flowing essence. The water whispers its deepest secret. These are truths that can only be shared with those who have dissolved the barriers between self and flow, who have learned to listen with their entire being rather than just their ears. The secrets flow into me like liquid light, illuminating corners of understanding I didn't know existed. Mine. I learn the names of underground currents. The river teaches me to recognize the signatures of different springs this water, from limestone caves, that current from granite chambers, these droplets from the melting of ancient snow. Each source adds its own flavor to the river's complex symphony. The fish glow brighter in response to my luminosity. We are reflecting each other now, amplifying the light between us until the water around me shimmers with bioluminescent fire. I am swimming in liquid starlight, surrounded by creatures made of condensed moonbeams and crystallized dreams. My hair streams behind me like liquid night. Each strand moves with perfect grace in the current, creating its own small wave, its own contribution to the patterns of flow and disturbance that make the river's surface a canvas of ever-changing art. The moon's reflection surrounds me completely. I float in the center of their combined radiance, held in a pool of liquid light that seems to extend infinitely in all directions. Up and down lose their meaning. Here I could be floating through the heart of the sky, surrounded by stars instead of water. My breathing becomes barely perceptible. Pull, so slow and deep that each breath seems to last for minutes, drawing in the essence of night and water and moonlight. Exhale in peace and gratitude and perfect trust in the river's guidance. The current carries me toward the river's heart. This is not a geographical location, but a spiritual destination. The place where all the river's wisdom converges, where the deepest teachings wait for those brave enough to surrender completely to the flow. The water grows more luminous around me. It is lit not just by reflected moonlight, but by its own inner radiance, as if the river has learned to generate light from the joy of perfect circulation, the happiness that comes from fulfilling its essential purpose. My consciousness begins to merge with the current. I remain myself while also becoming part of something larger, like a drop of water that maintains its identity while joining the ocean. Individual awareness and cosmic consciousness coexist in perfect harmony. The fish swim in more complex patterns. Their movements create three-dimensional mandalas in the water, living geometries that speak of deep mathematical truths underlying the apparent chaos of natural flow. They are showing me the hidden order within surrender, the secret structures that emerge when control gives way to trust. The river's song grows richer and more complex. Harmonies emerge from depths I cannot fathom, melodies that weave together. The voices of every drop of water that has ever joined this flow. It is the sound of geological time made audible, of patience given musical form. My body becomes more translucent. The moonlight no longer reflects off my skin, but passes through it, revealing the light that lives within my flesh, the radiance that exists at a cellular level when fear dissolves and trust takes its place. The moon's pulse in perfect synchronization now. Their combined rhythm becomes the cosmic heartbeat that coordinates all motion, all flow, all change in the universe. Everything moves to this beat. My blood, the current, the fishes swimming, the very rotation of the world beneath us. I feel myself dispersing gently into the flow, not disappearing, but expanding, becoming less concentrated, more diffuse, like incense dissolving into air. I am spreading throughout the water while maintaining my essential nature, my core awareness, my capacity for experience and understanding. The water accepts this dispersion with joy. It welcomes my essence into its eternal circulation, promising to carry pieces of my consciousness to every place the river springs and ocean mouths, underground chambers and sunlit shallows. My awareness fractures into countless points of light. Each fragment remains connected to the others by threads of liquid starlight, creating a network of consciousness that spans the entire river system. I am simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, individual and universal, drop and ocean. The experience is pure bliss, not the sharp pleasure of fulfilled desire, but the deep contentment that comes from being exactly where I belong. From having found my perfect place in the cosmic dance of water and light and flowing time. B, the fish swim through my dispersed consciousness. Their passage creates ripples of sensation that I feel throughout my distributed awareness. We share the same medium now, the same luminous substance, occupying the same space without conflict or collision. The river's teachings become direct transmission, no longer communicated through words or even images. The wisdom flows directly into my scattered awareness, illuminating each fragment with new understanding of flow and patience and the beauty of complete surrender. I learned the secret of perfect buoyancy. The river teaches me how to exist without weight, how to be supported by forces I cannot see or fully understand, but can trust completely. This lesson applies to more than floating. It speaks to a way of moving through life itself. The moon's light intensifies to a golden warmth. Their radiance carries the blessing of celestial approval, the universe's way of acknowledging when one of its children has learned to trust completely, to surrender utterly, to become part of the eternal flow that connects all things. Time spirals rather than flows linearly here. Past experiences eddy back into present awareness, while future possibilities flow backwards from tomorrow into now. The river exists in all moments simultaneously, carrying the memory of its source and the promise of its destination in every drop. My dispersed awareness begins to coalesce slightly, not returning to its original boundaries, but finding a new configuration, a different way of being conscious that encompasses more while remaining coherent. I'm learning to exist as both individual and collective, as both wave and ocean. Below, the water cradles my reformed consciousness with tender care. It understands that transformation requires delicate handling, that the process of becoming something new while remaining essentially yourself needs gentle guidance and infinite patience. The fish cluster around my luminous presence. They recognize the completion of a phase in my river education, the moment when visitor becomes participant, when stranger becomes family. Their glowing forms create a constellation of welcome around my floating awareness. The current carries me deeper into the river's mysteries. These are secrets that reveal themselves only after the first submersion is complete. Truths that wait for those who have proven their willingness to trust completely. To surrender utterly, to become part of the water's eternal wisdom. My reformed body glows with inner radiance. The light comes not from reflection, but from generation, from the joy that arises when individual will aligns perfectly with universal flow. I am becoming a source of illumination, rather than just a surface that receives light. The moons smile down on this transformation. Their light carries warmth and approval, the universe's way of blessing those who have learned to trust its fundamental goodness, who have discovered the strength that lives in yielding to forces larger and wiser than individual understanding. The river prepares to carry me to its next teaching. I feel the current shifting slightly, adjusting to carry my consciousness toward whatever lesson waits in the deeper waters ahead. Befirst, submersion is complete, but the journey has only just begun. I float in perfect trust. My body glows with soft radiance. My awareness spans the width of the river. My heart beats in rhythm with the cosmic pulse that coordinates all motion throughout the universe. The water holds me with infinite gentleness as we move together toward the next movement in this symphony of surrender and trust and flowing transformation. I am ready for whatever comes next. The river has prepared me well. Twin moons position themselves directly overhead. Their combined radiance creates a column of pure illumination that transforms the water around me into liquid light. I float in the center of this celestial spotlight. My body no longer simply held by the river, but suspended between earth and sky, between the flowing water below and the infinite cosmos above. Siku, the sensation is indescribable. I'm weightless, not just in the physical sense, but in every dimension of being. Emotional weight, mental burden, the accumulated gravity of years spent resisting instead of flowing all of it, has dissolved into the luminous medium that surrounds me on all sides. My skin begins to absorb the moonlight directly, not reflecting it back, but drawing it inward, drinking it like water, breathing it like air. The light sinks into my pores and travels through my bloodstream, illuminating me from within until every cell glows with gentle radiance. The water responds to my luminosity, where my body touches the river's surface. Small whirlpools of light appear, spinning slowly in perfect spirals that carry my essence outward in expanding circle. I am painting the water with my presence, creating art. With every breath, every heartbeat, every tiny movement, time moves differently in this column of light. Seconds stretch into hours of perfect peace, while entire lifetimes of understanding compress into single moments of crystalline clarity. The moon's radiance operates outside normal temporal flow, creating a space where revelation happens not in sequence but in sudden, complete illuminations. The fish gather beneath me in formation. They arrange themselves in concentric circles, their glowing scales creating mandalas of living light in the depths below my floating form. They have become my honor guard, witnesses to this phase of transformation, guardians of the sacred space between the bodies of light. My hair spreads across the water's surface like dark silk. Each strand catches and holds fragments of moonlight, creating a crown of liquid starlight around my head. The current moves through these dark rivers with such gentleness that the light seems to flow along each strand. From root to tip, in pulses that match my heartbeat. The river's voice changes here. Between the twin moons, in this sacred column of light, the water speaks in harmonics I have never heard before. These are the frequencies of transformation itself. The sound that matter makes when it remembers it is energy, when energy remembers it is love. I breathe light instead of air. Each inhalation draws impure radiance that feeds not just my lungs but every organ, every cell, every quantum of consciousness that makes up this bare, floating vessel of awareness. I am sustained by illumination itself, nourished by the combined essence of the twin moons. My body temperature rises to match the light. I become warm as starlight, heated by the joy of perfect alignment between individual will and cosmic intention. The river around me grows warmer in response, or perhaps I have grown cooler. We reach perfect equilibrium, the ideal temperature of trust. The boundaries of my physical form begin to shimmer like heat waves rising from summer pavement. The edges of my body waver and dance in the moonlit water. I am becoming less solid, more fluid, more able to exist in multiple states simultaneously. This silver moon pulses with my heartbeat. Its light intensifies with each contraction of my heart, creating a visible connection between my life force and the celestial body. Watches over this transformation. We are synchronized now, the lunar orb and I, partners in this dance of illumination and trust. The blue moon breathes with my lungs. Its shimmering radiance expands and contracts with each cycle of inhalation and exhalation, as if it too needs to breathe, as if it draws sustenance from the same cosmic atmosphere that feeds my transformed physiology. Between these two rhythms, heartbeat and breath, silver and blue eye find perfect balance. My consciousness expands to fill the column of light. I am no longer contained within the boundaries of skin and bone. Be distributed throughout the illuminated space between water and sky. Every photon carries a fragment of my awareness. Every beam of light becomes an extension of my conscious presence. The water beneath me glows with increasing intensity, fed by the light that flows through my dispersed form. The river becomes luminous for yards in every direction. Fish swim through liquid starlight, while reeds and water plants pulse with bioluminescent fire along the bank. I understand the true nature of the twin moons now. They are not separate bodies, but two aspects of the same cosmic consciousness, divided only to create the dynamic tension that generates light, that powers transformation, that makes possible this perfect moment of suspension between opposing forces. The silver moon speaks of clarity. Its radiance carries the energy of purification, of seeing clearly, of understanding without the distortion of fear or desire. It teaches me to perceive reality without the filters that usually color human experience. The blue moon whispers of depth. Its light carries the wisdom of hidden currents, of truths that live beneath the surface of appearances. It shows me the secret connections that link all things, the invisible threads that weave the universe into a single, coherent whole. Together, their lights create something entirely new, where silver and blue intersect. A third color emerges, not quite purple, not quite gold, but something that has no name in human language. This is the color of transformation itself, the hue that appears when opposing forces achieve perfect harmony. My body begins to pulse with this unnamed color. I am lit from within by the marriage of clarity and depth of surface, understanding and hidden wisdom. The light that flows through me carries both frequencies, both teachings, both aspects of the cosmic truth that the twin moons embody. The fish respond to this new radiance. They swim upward from their circular formations, drawn by the unnamed light that emanates from my floating form. Some breach the surface near my body, their scales catching the strange new color and reflecting it back in fractal patterns that create kaleidoscopes on the water's surface. The river's current shifts to accommodate my transformation. What was flowing forward now moves in spirals, creating gentle vortices that spin around my luminous presence. The water has become a liquid lens, focusing the moon's light through my body and projecting it outward in beams that reach far beyond the river's banks. I am becoming a lighthouse of consciousness, not through effort or intention, but through the natural result of perfect surrender to forces larger than individual will. The light flows through me because I have learned to offer no resistance, to trust completely in the wisdom of the cosmic current. My awareness expands beyond the river system. I can feel other bodies of water calling to me, distant lakes, underground streams, cloud formations heavy with potential rain. They recognize the frequency I now emit, the signature of consciousness that has learned to flow like water, to shine like moonlight. The twin moons lean closer in the sky. Their increased proximity intensifies the light column until the very air seems to glow with visible radiance. They are pleased with my progress, satisfied with my willingness to become a conduit for their. The twin moons lean closer in the sky. Their increased proximity intensifies the light column until the very air seems to glow with visible radiance. They are pleased with my progress. Feel their approval wash over me. Warm, silver, complete. The light touches my shoulders. It touches my throat. It touches the curve of my collarbone, where water pools and gleams. I am becoming something new, something luminous, something peaceful. The river holds me. The moons guide me. The light blesses me. Each breath draws more radiance into my lungs. Each exhale releases old weight, old worry, old need. I am dissolving into beauty, into stillness, into grace. My skin drinks the moonlight. My hair floats like liquid silver around my face. My body moves without my choosing, guided by currents deeper than thought. the twin moons pulse, in rhythm with my heartbeat. Slow, steady, eternal. I close my eyes and feel their light through my eyelids. Gentle pressure, warm embrace, sacred touch. The water whispers secrets I almost remember. The light hums melodies I almost know. I am whole. I am becoming. The column of light grows brighter. I grow brighter with it. We are one radiance, one peace, one gentle surrender. I curl into the light's embrace. The moons breathe slowly above me. I glow, and I drift deeper. I glide deeper into myself, into memory, into sensation. My hands move through the glowing water, slow, reverent, wondering. I touch my skin and feel starlight. I touch my lips and taste silver. I touch my heart and find only quietness. The water holds every part of me, supports every curve, cradles every breath. I am floating in liquid light, in gentle warmth, in perfect acceptance. My fingers trace the path of moonbeams on my throat, on my shoulders, on the soft places where light pools and shimmers. Each touch is prayer. Each movement is meditation. Each moment is gift. The twin moons watch with ancient patience. They have seen countless nights, countless rivers, countless souls seeking peace. I am not the first to bathe in silver light. I will not be the last. This knowledge comforts me, connects me, completes me. The water ripples with my breathing. The light dances with my heartbeat. We are synchronized, harmonized. One, I remember, other nights, other moons, other water, but none as gentle as this, none as welcoming, none as home. My consciousness expands like ripples on the river's surface. Soft circles of awareness spreading outward, touching everything, holding nothing. The boundary between my skin and the water dissolves. Between my breath and the night air. Between my thoughts and the moon's whispered wisdom. I am water. I am light. I am peaceful. Surrender. My hands rest against my chest. Feel the slow rhythm there. The gentle tide of life flowing in, flowing out, flowing on. The twin moons pulse in answer. We are all heartbeats, all rhythm, all done. I let my arms float beside me. Let my hair spread like liquid moonbeams. Let my body find its natural grace in the supportive embrace of silver water. Each sensation is velvet. Each breath is silk. Each moment is gentle blessing. I curl into the water's embrace. The moons breathe slowly above me. I glow, and I sink deeper into peace. The time has come for surrender, for rest, for gentle release. I draw my knees toward my chest, curl into myself like a child, like a flower, like a prayer. The water cradles this new shape, this soft roundness, this peaceful folding inward. The twin moons shine, their approval, their blessing, their lullaby of light. I feel myself growing smaller, quieter, more still. The boundaries of my body dissolve into warmth and light and liquid embrace. My breathing slows. My heartbeat softens. My thoughts become whispers, then silence, then nothing but gentle awareness. Floating in silver peas, the river rocks me. The moons watch over me. Be light holds me in its tender custody. I am safe. I am held. I am home. Each exhale releases more of the day, more of the world, more of everything except this moment of perfect rest. The twin moons begin their slow dance across the sky. Their light grows gentler, softer, more like a mother's hand on a sleeping child's forehead. I surrender to their rhythm, to their ancient wisdom, to their promise of peaceful dreams. My body becomes weightless. My mind becomes quiet. My heart becomes still pond reflecting only moonlight and serenity. By the water whispers its final blessing. The moons offer their last gentle touch. The night embraces me completely. I am dissolving into sleep, into peace, into the eternal dance of light and water and rest. My breathing becomes the river's rhythm. My heartbeat becomes the moon's pulse. I become part of the greater silence, the deeper stillness, the infinite peace. I curl into myself. The moons breathe slowly above me. I glow, and I sleep